Yo, what is up, everyone? Today's a new day, and I made some updates. Yeah, I was kind of like really trying to get through this big barrier. I'm feeling a little sad that I didn't put in time making music today, but we made great progress with the game. So, one of the first things I made is a health bar. Now there is a health bar in the game, which is pretty cool. The next thing I added was I fixed. Okay, it's not completely fixed. The GUI is not completely fixed. If I click items or quest, as you can see, there's a glitch. But the thing that was like really bugging me was the fact that before, up until today, if I refresh the page, it starts open, and I didn't like that. Because the thing is, with making game, time is valuable. Um, Whatever time you waste is time you will never ever get back. Any time you waste, any millisecond, any sort of time you waste, you will never get back. Time is a scarce resources. These billionaires, millionaires will love to trade in time, all right, for money, but they can't unless they get really deep into longevity science. But we'll see, right? Because I know you could like lengthen your telomeres or something like that. I don't know. I don't know about that stuff, so I'm gonna stop talking about it. All right. So that's one of the things I did. Oh, my bad. The next thing I did was not perfect, just because I'm kind of using TypeScript and LDTK, and I kind of have to lock in the how I'm parsing the information. But it's still preferable though to using an editor. Like I tried Godot. This is way more fun for me. I'm essentially making my own game engine, and I'm learning a lot about organizing files and making decisions. Today was really taxing because I was looking at my game, and okay, so I'll start with this. So so today I read a I sat. I know this is gonna sound crazy. I first of all, I looked at game programming patterns book, and I was like reading through this shit, and I'm like, well, if I'm using an entity component system, does any of this stuff really apply to me? The other thing is, I already take a more data oriented approach, very systems heavy, just because I get super overwhelmed. And so I was like, I don't know. I asked AI, and it gave me some. It's like a couple would still apply. I don't know. This is my first game. Is it the first game I've attempted? No, but is the first game I'm going to complete. I'm saying that right now, right? So, anyways, I got off track. So what I did. So one of the other things I added to the game was this is gonna be a resource. No, this is not a resource. This is a source, right? These trees are a source. If you break the tree, boom, there's a stick. If you kill this tree, boom, there's a stick. Um, I do not have a system to pick it up. That doesn't exist yet. But one of the things I did add is, as you can see, if you do attack, oh, for some reason it died. That might be a bug. Let me see if he's gonna die and disappear. No. Anyways, yeah. So the other thing I added today was health bars to the enemy. That's one thing I added. Originally, my first attempt was that um, I did have the GUI health bar, but it was showing on top of everyone. I was like, ew, that's too much visual noise. The health bar should only pop up when you damage them. Now, in terms of this debug screen, I don't know. It's not bothering me. I'm just leaving it there for now because I still have to fix. The only reason I'm leaving this debug screen there is just because I still haven't fixed the camera. Um, One of the things with game development that I really, really have learned to dislike, and it's probably like my most annoying and my least favorite thing, is for sure the camera. Getting the camera the way I want it to. weird. Even when I was using other game engines, and I was using like different libraries, like orthographic camera libraries, it was still annoying to me. That's like the one thing I don't like. My one of my least favorites so far. But anyways, so we now have item drops in the game, right? Now, sorry, this is like terrible contrast, but here's a whatever, an axe, uh, this gray book, and I don't know. I might have to add like a contrast or something to make items easier. I think there's more item, or is that it? Or that's another axe. Oh, here's a scroll. Holy shit! That I need. I'll figure that out. That doesn't matter. That's polish to me. I'm putting that in underneath polish. So what? So today I had to really think like a designer, man, because I'm like, first of all, what do I even want you to do in this game? Like, I don't like plots. I don't care for plot, right? So to me, I just want you to do stuff, right? Um. Also, so I had to really think like, okay, I want these people to drop stuff, right? But what's the point of these drops? Because I kind of like the idea of like a Metrovania, but not like a side scroller. I don't like side scroller games, man. That's just my opinion. I only like Mario or Sonic or something. But for the most part, I don't like side scrollers. But yeah. So that was like really kind of a headache, right? And deciding stuff. Yeah, I really have to fix this camera. But the other thing I did was I made this little map, right? So yeah, the other thing is I am not gonna bother animating, man. I'm not gonna bother. This is like a I'll make this a $5 game. I'm gonna focus more on systems and gameplay systems and mechanics and all around just trying to execute on gameplay because the thing that's really motivating me to make games is the same thing that's kind of like with all art nowadays, made by these big corporations. It's like they lack density. These movies are not artistically dense. These games the gameplay these games gameplay isn't really dense, right? By density I mean it just feels so dragged out, like they are padding things, you know. Like I don't know, it feels like such a chore. Watching movies and stuff is such a chore. But I don't know. I'm it's late and I'm tired. Well, I've been yawning nonstop. It's late and I'm tired, but I'm clocking in. Listen. My motto right now is I want to see how much gameplay systems I can make work, like and execute. Like I know there's a law of diminishing returns. You know, to me, I don't give a fuck about graphics, man. I give a fuck about what can I do in my game, right? But I also like having secrets. There was this one video on like Noida I was watching, and I was watching the Noida rabbit hole, and I was like, whoa, this game is so deep, has so many secrets. I want my game to be like that, but I might just express my secrets in my devlogs. Who knows? But yeah, so here we have like this bug and a little mouse I added. My goal with this little pond here is I want you to fish. I want fishing mechanics in the game. Um, that's one of the things I definitely want to do. Fish. Um, yeah, I want you to fish. But one of the things that I've been really struggling, if I don't want to drag this on long to, I don't want to drag this. It's just like, bro, I spent like 40 days trying to make procedure generation work, right? Only to realize that why am I pushing to make procedural generation work, right? If I don't even understand how to structure a world, like I was trying to create a cohesive, procedurally generated world. But then the issue is that I'm struggling to create a structured, cohesive world myself. I don't even understand what a structured, cohesive world means to me, because man, I applaud to the people who definitely execute and complete on games, because there's so many variables, especially if you start taking plot into account. There's too many variables. There's a lot of considerations that I have never thought about before. One of them is just like, I have this map, right? I have a glitch right now, but it sends me to this map, right? I have this map right here, which is, I'm just treating as like a center map. You know, like maybe I'll make it that if you die, you die, and then you restart, and then you have to go get your items again or something. I don't know, bro. I could make that the game, but it's also like, um, it's also like, where am I heading, bro? Like, where are you heading? What is this area called? If I keep following this area, where does this take me? Why are these rats here? Why is this human here, right? Okay, I wanted, so I made this tree and it gave me this. Okay, why, right? Or for example, right now it's an area loot drop, right? Because I have not sat down and figured out, hey, only the rat drops this. Only the human drops this. I did not set that shit up at all. Why? Because that's not in my mind. But it's kind of like, why does this drop, right? Okay, let's say I get the scroll, right? The scroll is going to teach me magic spells. What type of magic spells, right? How do I differentiate between this? Because right now this is all early game, right? How do I differentiate between early game and late game? But then there's another thing I really want to figure out is, one thing that's always this, like, I don't really want an XP system in my game. The reason I don't want an XP system in my game is because I think it's a shame to, like, once you get deeper in the game, it's like you never visit the early game again. You know what I mean? And but then that's kind of tricky though. It's like, how do I increase the player's power level and not use XP? XP is everywhere. Oh, I haven't figured that out, to be honest. I have not figured that out. Or I could even make it so that I could just add more secrets. You know what I mean? So that you have a reason to go back into the early game. Or I could just make it like, yes, you could get more powerful, but make it like Metrovania esque, where you can come here, you can farm a bunch of enemies, and then have secret bosses or something, because Kingdom Hearts has a lot of secret bosses. That's also possible. Oh wait, let me get out of here, because all my past videos have been this fucking screen. I don't want to look at this screen no more. I need something different. Let's be in the Zen Pond, right? So yeah, so I can make it that, like, if you kill a bunch of these, maybe a secret boss pops up or something. But because the other thing is, I really like, you know, so by quest, I don't know. I really want to have like some type of event system or challenges, and say, hey, go to this zone. We have this happening right now. Or like, monster has been spotted here. Go there. Or I'm trying to think. You go back to early zones, and then if you kill a bunch of these tree creatures, boom, you get tree juice or something. And then if you're in a later zone, I don't explain shit, but if you so happen to have tree juice in your inventory, you can use that tree juice at the tree man altar and summon a tree man boss or some bullshit like that. You know what I mean? I'm just spitballing right now. So that's kind of one of the things I'm definitely really want to do. I've been really trying to take into account is, how do I make it so that the early areas still have some type of value, even when your character is like a god or something. Like in terms of game though, I don't even know where I want to head with this. I want to go crazy. Just because if I'm sacrificing animation and stuff like that, I gotta go crazy. I gotta go wild. I gotta make something like, whoa, you know? But yeah, I mean, that's if I can, you know what I mean? But as long, we'll see, bro. We'll see, right? This could just be like another one of my game, but I'm gonna be honest, this is the furthest I have gotten in any of my other games. This is the furthest. But yeah, I'm just gonna sit down, read some game design books. That's what I did today. That's where I learned. Look, because sometimes you have to grind for stuff you want, man, and a lot of heartbreak, to be honest. I would say like mental crises, because lots of broken projects and attempts. Where is this, man? It should be here. Bro, what the hell? Yeah. See, look. I was learning about right here. I was learning about converters, stocks, sources. The one thing that I like currencies, bro. I had a skim. Another thing I would say is, man, you do not have to read page by page. I think when it comes to books, man, if you purchase a book, if you get a book, you're getting a book for a reason. Um, Ignore the shit you don't care about, man. Just skim through, go through. I would say just skim through pages, right? You got a book, like fiction book is different, but if you're using a book to attain some type of wisdom, man, I would definitely say go in, skim. They're talking about their life, they're talking about their experience. I'm like, I don't give a fuck, dude. Give me your wisdom. Just glance over it, man. Like, just have your eyes look over the words, right? And then when you stop, you stop. When you catch yourself stopping and reading, it must be something important. That's what I'm trying to implement right now. Just because I need a bed, I need to read, man. I need to read. My brain doesn't want to read. My brain's like, bro, stop telling me this shit I don't care about. So my only choice is to figure out a method that makes reading at least a little bit more enjoyable. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So I'll end things with that. The only thing that's really like in terms of this book, that's like what the hell does this even mean? Are sinks? All right. I do not understand what sinks are. It says sinks are the opposite of sources. Resources flow out to them. In some contexts, sources are called faucets and sinks are called drains. But we don't care where the resources come from as long as it comes out the faucet. And we don't care what it goes as long as it goes down the drain. What does that even mean? All right. Like, what is that? Like, how does that even apply to anything? Because if I read this, the player would be a sink, right? Because they're draining resources, right? It says, I don't even know, bro. I would have to Google it. We don't care where the sources go as long as it goes down the drain. What the fuck does that even mean, man? I don't know. We live in an AI era. AI will explain what the hell that means. But that's it for today. Um, I will say, looking at these bugs and this little mouse makes me want to like make it in the game. So like, see, I can make a hidden item, right? That if you get it, boom, you're able to catch all creatures, or maybe I'll allow you to catch capture all creatures, and then you can have like a little buddy or something walking with you. That'd be pretty cool. Or even make it that we could capture bosses or something. But then if I do that, I would have to like make some rules though. Like yo, you want to capture a boss? Well, you're gonna have to work for it for every attempt, as in like. But then they could just save the game or something like that. You could do that. I don't care. I don't care. We're talking hypotheticals. Okay, I'm done, man. I'm chatting. It's late, and it's been 20 minutes, and I've been talking nonstop to the screen. All right, bye. Okay, bye now. Bye now.